I'll be presenting introduction part. Now let me give a brief introduction to AirAsia. AirAsia needs no introduction in Asia and Asia. In December 2001, with the airline heavily in debt, AirAsia was purchased by Tony Fernandez of Tune Air SDA PhD for the price of $1. AirAsia has grown from a domestic airline in Malaysia into Asia's leading low-cost airline servicing more than 130 destinations across Asia Pacific. AirAsia has been named the world's best low-cost airline by Skytrax for 11 years in a row from 2009 to 2019 and the Asia's leading low-cost airline for the 6th year in a row at the annual World Travel Award from 2013 to 2018. As for the core business, it has been providing low fare for its passengers. However, in 2019, AirAsia officially embarked on the AirAsia 3.0 transformation journey into a travel and financial platform company consisting of three main cores. First is the teleport, which manages the aircraft freight belly space of AirAsia and the third-party airlines. Second is the AirAsia.com, a fully fledged travel and lifestyle platform. And one more is Big A, their financial services provider. Next, the vision of AirAsia is to be the largest low-cost airline in Asia and servicing the 3 billion people who are currently underserved with poor connectivity and high fares. Now, there are actually a total of 4 missions for AirAsia. First, to be the best company to work for, whereby employees are treated as part of a big family. Second is to create a globally recognized Asian brand. Third, to attain the lowest cost so that everyone can fly with AirAsia. Fourth is maintain the highest quality product, embracing technology to reduce cost and enhance service levels. Now we look at Malindo Airlines. Malindo Air is an airline company which was established in year 2013 between the cooperation of two companies from different countries, which are National Aerospace and Defence Industries Nadi and Lion Air Indonesia, with headquarters in Petaling Jaya, Selangor, Malaysia. The name Malindo signifies a cooperation pact between Malaysia and Indonesia. In early 2017, the airline is expected to rebrand Malindo Air to Batik Air Malaysia, which will focus on international routes, while its associate airline Batik Air serves domestic routes in Indonesia. The core business of Malindo Air is it takes pride in its premium service business model, whereby comfort is made available for all. With attractive fares and premium services such as those from full services airlines to boot, Malindo Air has a growing presence as the ultimate choice for travelers, young and old. Their vision is to become the first choice for the customers to fly and employees to work with. As for their mission, theirs is to continue as an Asian-based airline and focus on Europe to connect the worldwide, delivering sustainable economic values with global impact and become the airlines that is best in Asia and well-known in the world. Now we look at the potential sources of competitive strength or vulnerability for AirAsia and Malindo Airlines. Portal 5 Forces is a model that identifies and analyzes 5 competitive forces that shape every industry and helps determine an industry's weaknesses and strengths. The following are the Portal's 5 forces. First is that supplier bargaining power. The bargaining power of supplier is also described as the market of inputs such as raw materials, components and labor. Due to few suppliers in airline industry, this has increased the bargaining power of supplier. Aircraft supplier could be the one who gaining most bargaining power, as there are only 2 in operation, Boeing or Airbus. Besides, airline industry also faces high switching costs. Currently, most of the Asia's aircraft are using Airbus model. If in case AirAsia may wish to switch to Boeing again, the cost of training employee in operating the aircraft future is high. The union labor, particularly in aviation, have a high bargaining power. Pilots always demand a very high salary because of the difficulty and scarcity of getting a trained and well-experienced pilot. Malindo prefer the human resources of retired Air Force aviators contracted under a cheaper salary standard. Malindo still has a better strategy than a competitor. For example, it prefers an old aircraft rental with lesser for the type of aircraft that is generally no longer used but still feasible operated, so that it is able to set rates at lower than competitors. Second is the buyer bargaining power. There is almost no switching cost for customers who intend to switch from one airline to another. There is no product differentiation, while the only difference is the airline packages offered. Thus, small portion of customers who are not interested with joining the travel agencies may look for AirAsia, which providing the holiday packages, which including flight tickets, accommodation and travel guides. The portions of income of an individual earns is the factors, because when the portion is high, the more customers will look for cheaper price. Hence, the bargaining power of buyers will be strong. Furthermore, customers also have access to market information. Hence, customers may access to the current airline information which are always available. This has reduced the power of negotiation for airline and producing a strong customer bargaining power. The bargaining power of buyer is strong because most of the customers for Malindo are individual travelers instead of travel in group. Hence, Malindo have more sales on individual tickets rather than the groups of customers. Next is that the threat of substitute products. Companies that produce goods or services for which there are no close substitute will have more power to increase prices and lock in favorable terms because they are providing same service to the customer, which is send their customer to their destination by flight. The price will be cheaper if you book earlier in Malindo and AirAsia. In other words, that makes no significant differences in prices between the premium airlines such as Mars or Singapore Airlines if the customer purchases the ticket last minute. Thus, the customer may choose to purchase premium airline, which may offer them more comfortable facility in almost same price with AirAsia. Malindo generally use standard industry rates for food, beverage, first class, business class and economy class, so that the price becomes very expensive for price-sensitive consumers as compared to AirAsia. AirAsia's economy scale is low due to the high fleet and high flight frequency, so overall it can set prices lower than its competitors. To add on is the threat of new entrants. The barriers to entry in airlines industry are high. Now, with AirAsia's overwhelming success has prompted many full-service airlines like Malaysia Airlines Systems, which also known as Mars, launch their own budget airlines. For example, Firefly. These new entrants have the advantage of brand marketing, loyalty, and other benefits overflow from their parent companies. As increasing in the number of airline competitors such as Jetstar and Tiger Airways, which are also promote low-cost fare, may decrease the shifting cost of the customers, lead to decrease of AirAsia's customer loyalty. Also, the startup cost is high for airline industry. However, diversifying in product offer is also a part of these forces. AirAsia expanded their product line by not only sales ticket but also offering tourism package, which is offering hotel booking while booking the ticket. Due to competitive in airline industry and protects on national airline, Malindo, which bring facing losses in this year, it is quite difficult to apply for licensing and permit for operating their airline company. Last but not least is the competitive rivalry in the industry. Rivalry among budget airline companies is very high due to increased competition by more and more airlines and high exit costs. In addition, AirAsia is also facing intense competition from a broad range of other airlines, ground transportation and maritime services. AirAsia now facing competition with approximately 59 low-fare airlines such as JAL Express, Tiger Airways, AirAsia, Jetstar Airways and etc. They are competing in terms of their route offering that AirAsia does not fly. Now, due to the pandemic, the exit cost for Malindo is high as it includes staff retrenchment fee, paying off the loan or debt and refunds due to flight cancellation. So it is expensive for Malindo to leaving the industry. In short, the most competitive advantage company is AirAsia. It is expanded their product line by not only sales ticket but also offering tourism package. This shows it has a good relationship with hotels and tourism companies around Asia. As mentioned, Malindo generally use standard industry rates for food, beverage, first class, business class, economy class and etc. so that the price becomes very expensive for price sensitive consumers as compared to AirAsia. That's all from me. Thank you.
The EFE matrix was used to identify the key external opportunities and threats that were affecting or might affect a company. There were several opportunities and threats that were playing key important role to affect the growth of both AirAsia and Malindo. Even though the opportunities and threats were the same for most airlines in the industry, the importance of a factor and how effectively the airlines respond to it might differ. In this case, one of the most important opportunities is the growth of population increase, the middle income growth population, which is the main focusing people by airline industry. The population in Asian middle class will be reaching almost 700 million by 2020. This creates a large market and a huge opportunity for airlines. On the other hand, the increase in older generation also increase opportunity of the airline industry. The growth of the business travel might also turn out to be a good opportunity as naturally these ticket prices are higher than but basic costs are still the same as economy classes. The customer just enjoy a slightly higher advantage and perks of being a business class customer. The growing airline reservation day to day also creates a huge amount of threat, as this growing population is depending on technological forces in competing their online ticketing reservation system. However, this creates a huge competition among different companies. Overload of customers' personal information in the system's website might be hacked by hackers. The terrorist attack these days also have triggered a big threat to airlines industry, as we can see attacks have made headlines in our world a couple of times. We could also notice a difference in customer attitude towards airplane traveling and a great dip in the number of customers. It usually takes some time for customer to recover from the shock. Lastly, the new government regulation makes operational costlier, and increase in annual airline security costs are the pressure faced by increase in running costs faced by airline industry. The weight indicates of how important the factor is a company wants to succeed in an industry. The rating is an external metric of how effectively company's current strategy responds to the opportunity and threats. AirAsia is Asia's largest low-fare company. This was the most important opportunity for AirAsia, and it was well exploited by the company. The national and international market were also looked into. AirAsia's group operates scheduled domestic and international flights to over 400 destinations spanning over 25 countries. The growth of older generation was an important opportunity, and wheelchairs were prepared and special assistance for older generations were given. However, smaller leg space on flight was not very conducive. In contrast, the major threat faced by AirAsia was global pandemic. As per many airlines, AirAsia was least prepared for this threat. It might have crippled the company if management did not come up with alternative business strategy. The financial impact of new government regulation also makes operation costlier. However, airline has a lot of cut cost features in AirAsia. Based on the analysis, the total weight score of 2.88 indicates that AirAsia business has slightly more average ability to respond to external factors. Looking back to the factors list and assigned weight for each, growing population has been one of the most important opportunity, and it's been exploited well by AirAsia. And also the total weight of 2.88 proves that AirAsia is doing pretty well, taking the advantage external opportunities and avoiding threat faced. However, it could have done more better. This could be done by giving more concentration on their business class customer. Malindo, on the other hand, have been doing well and better with their business travel customers. Their prime target of Malindo Air is their business travelers. The reason for this is high margins and low price sensitivity of such travelers. The national and international market, as well as the increased traffic factors, has been exploited by Malindo. The airline company has 970 departure to 210 destination. The airlines have also been catering of growing population and older generations. Malindo has invested a lot in their PR and advertising. And to maximize their IT, Malindo Air implemented current IT yields such as yield management system, computer reservation system, and enterprise resource planning system. The financial issue is also dealt subtly by Malindo management. They consider every opportunity to maximize revenue. This move has helped them to reduce their fuel cost by 1.5 gallon, which is owning their own refinery, which in turn is helping them to streamline costs and improve operational efficiency. The total weight score of Malindo is 2.47 points out that Malindo has slightly lower ability to respond to external factors. Looking back to the factors list and assigned weight, growth of business travel, the growth of population, and the growth of older generations have been exploited well, and the strategies of Malindo has been designed to meet the opportunity. However, there is a lot of room for improvement. Malindo has a good value for advertisement. However, in this world moving towards online lifestyle, they have to concentrate more on online advertising. On a personal experience note, the online ticketing reservation system in Malindo could be more straightforward and user-friendly. Lastly and most importantly, both companies, AirAsia and Malindo, may have to be in startled when their most recent global pandemic such as COVID-19. The recent pandemic has caused the entire airline industry to be in shock because it was harder to control the spreading of virus in the compact environment and nothing could be done except stopping their operation. So in this case, in recent future, airline industry have to work together and alongside a healthcare system and also other regulations to come up with a better and safer way of operating during this type of pandemic.
Hi, my name is Janani Selvanathan and my matrix number is 05757. I will be talking about the IFE, so let's begin with AirAsia. AirAsia bought by Tune Air Sendirian Berhad, founded by Tan Sri Dr. Tony Fernandez, Dato' Pahamin Rajab, Dato' Kamaruddin Maranon and Dato' Aziz Baka, and they bought over AirAsia for RM1 ringgit. At that point of time, AirAsia was heavily in debt, but Dr. Tan Sri Tony Fernandez had a vision to democratize air travel from the grasp of the elite by in turn offering low fares yet assuring quality air traveling, enabling everyone to travel. Tan Sri Dr. Tony Fernandez and his amazing team managed to repay the debt of over 40 million ringgit within a span of just 2 years. At that point of time, they owned 2 planes and a capacity of 250 staff only. Fast forward to today, AirAsia flies to over 76 different destinations that covers 132 routes with 40 offered exclusively. The strength emphasized in the IFE metrics of AirAsia is good management weighted with a point of 0.11, followed by AirAsia being the biggest budget airline in the industry. The importance of a management will lead to the success of a company, as can be seen with AirAsia. Reflecting to the time when AirAsia was heavily in debt and only had 2 planes with a staff capacity of 250, it could not have been to the point that they are today if it were for poor management. Dr. Tan Sri Tony Fernandez prides on his staff, and truly so, they have achieved a capacity of 20,000 staffs today. Many also try to apply for AirAsia because of this reason. AirAsia's second strength rated at 0.10 is regarded as the largest low-cost airline in Southeast Asia and has been named the world's best low-cost airline for the 10th year in a row by Skytrax World Airline Awards. AirAsia staying true to their motto, "Now everyone can fly," aim to be the largest low-cost airline in Asia. Their vision and mission were to enable everyone to fly at a low fare. The subsequent strengths, rated in equal proportions of 0.09, is training development and high durable planes. In every company, the training and development of staffs and company is an important aspect of growth. In the year 2019, AirAsia had performed over 201 different types of technical training programs, including fatigue risk management systems, de-icing, anti-icing training, AAPA, emergency response conference, IATA emergency planning and response for airlines, as an example, to many more. And in addition to the mandatory training to comply with regulatory requirements, the employees of AirAsia also attended and participated in 413 external training sessions in various subject matter. The weakness for AirAsia is a tie between high cost and high hidden cost at a score of 0.09. From the year 2019 to 2020, the cost of training and development alone caused an increase of a staggering 12.5 million to 13.4 million. The cost of operations in the year 2020 alone was a minus 5,422 ringgit, and the profit and loss in total was a minus of 5,551 ringgit. The subsequent weaknesses, which is hidden cost by AirAsia, is the cost incurred when booking flight tickets. As the step of booking the ticket proceeds to, a cost incurred also increases. For example, when you book a flight for RM 121 ringgit, it is considered cheap, but with increasing travel insurance, meals and luggage packages, the cost increases. Malindo Airways Sendirian Berhad is owned by a Malaysian hybrid full carrier that is owned by Lion Air Group, which is based in Indonesia. The name Malindo is a combination of Malaysia and Indonesia. Now let's talk about the strengths of the IFE. the most powerful strength with Malindo is extra check-in luggage, a meal advantage with a point of 0.11. In comparison with AirAsia, where everything is charged for, Malindo offers more reasonable packages. Unlike AirAsia, that only offers 7 kgs for luggage, Malindo offers 10 to 15 kilos of free luggage. Most people will take this opportunity for traveling as they are bound to carry luggage more than 15 kgs, and that is considered a luxurious allowance. This is, however, excluding certain international flights that offer between 20 to 30 kgs for economy flight holders. That is excluding business class passengers, which are entitled to 40 kgs of luggage. Besides that, Malindo provides personal TV for in-flight entertainment in every individual seat and a free meal. In addition to this, Malindo went a step further in their services for comfort by offering in-flight Wi-Fi service in the year 2015, making them the first Malaysian airline to do so. The subsequent strength of Malindo with a weight of 0.10 is the revenue premium. Malindo takes a lot of pride in their premium service with the intention to provide comfort for everyone. Malindo provides alluring fares at premium services for travelers of all age. Most business class travelers opt to taking Malindo as there is no compromises with Malindo in comparison to AirAsia that takes a stance to serve the public at low fares. Malindo's rates are also much more expensive, but it guarantees its comfort to its customers. The weakness of Malindo, however, is a tie between poor margins and less destinations flown to. The weight given is 0.08, indicating its prominence. Poor margins means that the business is not turning into profits. The reason for this could be that the prices are either too expensive or too low. The prices of goods sold are too costly or are operating at expenses that is not cost efficient. In relation to Malindo, however, the poor margins could be due to high operating expenses incurred by Malindo Air. The fact that Malindo's tickets are more expensive than AirAsia goes to explain their profit margin may be low. AirAsia is a competent competitor by offering very low airfare, leaving Malindo to appear to be exorbitant prices next to it. The subsequent weakness highlights the destination Malindo flies to. Malindo Air offers up to 30 international and domestic destinations. Amongst them are Kota Baru, Kota Kinabalu, Langkawi for domestic flights, and Vietnam, China, Nepal, India, and Indonesia for international flights.
Hi, my name is Aida and I will continue to talk about the competitive profile matrix CPM for Malindo and AirAsia company. So CPM is aimed to identify the company's major competitors, which includes its strengths and weaknesses. So from the table we can see that the two most important factors to being successful in the airline industry is price and customer service. In fact, pricing in the airline industry has always been the biggest competitive factor. As a consumer myself, the first thing that I will look through whenever I'm buying a ticket airline is the price, and of course I will compare the price from each airline company and choose which one the best suit with my budget. And through the price itself, the airline company could gain their competitive advantage. Okay, from the table I showed, it resulted that AirAsia is strongest on price as it rated of 4 and score of 0.48, while Malindo is strongest on its service quality. Furthermore, as we all may know, when it comes to pricing competition, AirAsia is always known as to be the largest and the most successful low-fare airlines. As overall, for CPI metrics, AirAsia is strongest as the total weight is 3.21, while Malindo only scored 2.92, hence resulted that Malindo is weaker than AirAsia. However, although AirAsia received a highest overall rating, it does not necessarily mean that AirAsia is 100% is fully better than Malindo Air. But it does tell that AirAsia is better in some area. For example, AirAsia is better in the price, is better in their global expansion, better in advertising, while Malindo is better in its service quality, in their customer service and punctuality and stuff like that.
For my part, I will tell about the SWOT matrix AirAsia and Malindo Airlines. First, we go to SWOT matrix AirAsia. Basically, there are 4 types of SWOT matrix, which are the first one is SO strategy, strategic opportunity strategy, WO strategy, weaknesses opportunity strategy. The third one is ST strategy, strength and threat strategy, and the last one is W3 strategy, weaknesses, threat strategy. We go to the first one, which is the SO strategy. SO strategy for the AirAsia is the first one is to enhance connection with the government and the airlines industry leaders, S101. Second, attract sizable market in worldwide, S40203. Third, link between other service providers such as hotels, car rental, and others, S605. Next, we move to WO strategy. First one is continuous of maintenance with maintaining the overall cost low, W106. Second, enhance the Asian open skies, W2008. 3. Improve customer services, W303 and 04. We move to the S3 strategy. The first one is improve security policy to gain customer trust, S2 T1 T5. Number 2, produce a low-cost mentality and image in working environment and workforce, S5 T3. Third, diversify company business, S6 T2. Last, we go to WT strategy. First, undergo branding and reduce unprofitable expenses, W1 T4. Second, undergo branding and enhancement exercise of AirAsia, W4 T2. Third, review refund policy, W5 T1. Next, we move to the SWOT metric Malindo Airlines. The first point is SO strategy. The first one, increase flight offers for domestic, S301. Second, customer can go for vacation and businesses, S406. Third, enhance Malindo Airlines promotion, S502. Next, we move to WO strategy. The first one is award maintenance based on lowest price, W305. Second, create more rewards for the management and employees, W506. Third, reduce unprofitable flight that can burden the company, W606. Next, we move to the ST strategy. The first one is merge with other airline industry, S4T1. Second, diversify company business, S6T3. And third, create a unique service in flight, S7T2. The last one is WT strategy. First one is control the ticket price during fluctuation of the fuel, W334. Second, appoint workers that have knowledge about technology, W4T2. And the last one is review refund policy due to COVID-19, W6T7. Overall, SWOT metric helps to develop 4 types of strategy, which are SO strategy, WO strategy, ST strategy, and WT strategy. SWOT metric matching the key internal and external factors is required good judgment, knowledge, and critical thinking. Next, we move to the space metric. Space metric is a management tool for analyzing a company to figure out what kind of strategy a business should pursue. Space metric also focus on strategy formulation, particularly as it relates to an organization competitive position. We move one by one. The first one is space metric AirAsia. There are 4 types of space metric, which are: the first one is financial position, the second one is competitive position. This include in internal analysis. The third one is stability position, and the fourth one is industry position. The third and the fourth is included in the external analysis. From the table, we can get a result. The average for financial position, we get 4. The average competitive position, we get -2. The average for stability position, we get -3. The average for industry position, we get 5. Therefore, for AirAsia, x-axis is a sum up of the competitive position plus industry position. From that, we can see that -2 plus 5, we get 3. For y-axis, stability position plus financial position. From that, we can get -3 plus 4. The answer is 1. Thus, the coordinate is 3, 1. From the graph, we can see that the space metric AirAsia is under the aggressive quadrant. Next, we move to the space metric Malindo Airlines. It is same as the space metric Malindo Airlines, but it is different from the result. The average for financial position is 3.4. The average for competitive position is -3. The average for stability position is -4. And last one, the average of industry position, we get 2. Therefore, for Malindo Airlines, x-axis competitive position plus industry position, from the table, we get -3 plus 2. The answer is -1. For y-axis, stability position plus financial position, from the table, we get -4 plus 3.4. The answer is -0.6. Thus, the coordinate is -1, -0.6. From the graph, we plot that the space metric Malindo Airlines is under the defensive quadrant. For the recommendation both of the company, as we know, the competition among airplane industry is very tough. To compete with their competitor in the business environment, a company needs to make a strategy to achieve their long-term objective and can be successful for doing their business. Based on the SWOT metric and space metric of AirAsia, they need to come out with a strategy that can make the competitive position of that company perform well. AirAsia has an excellent position to use its internal strength to take advantage of external opportunities, overcome internal weakness, and avoid external threats. AirAsia can continue to invest in 2021 and beyond as planned, including the purchase of new aircraft. They estimate the number of passengers will continue to increase and can be reached through the penetration of new markets in Asia, India, and China. Based on the SWOT metric and space metric of Malindo Airlines, they need to improve internal weakness. Malindo Airlines can reduce the number of its aircraft to 5 Boeing 737 and 6 ATR turbo due to a global pandemic. Malindo Airlines has disposed of unnecessary assets to reduce the amount of losses incurred by them. Strategic management becomes important due to globalization to survival their business. Both company needs to consider the company's ability and how to integrate it, as well as the main factors in the internal and external factors.
Hi, it's me again. So we continue to explain about the QSPM metric. So QSPM metric is a management tool used in the evaluation of strategy options and determination of relative attractiveness of strategies. So this matrix is a technique to determine which of the selected strategies is feasible and can be considered for this company. So for AirAsia, the three alternative strategies that can be considered from the data in the stage 3, which include first, market penetration, that is increased flights offers and promotion. Second is the market development, that is launch new airline hub locations. And the third is the product developments, launch new airlines brands. Okay, so from the table, it shows that the result of sum total attractiveness score of 3.34 versus 3.70 versus 2.80. This analysis indicates that AirAsia should incorporate with launching the new airline hub location as it scored the highest, which is 3.70, which means the strongest compared to the other strategies. Okay, so as you can see from the table, in the first row of the opportunities, the national and hub market could be capitalized on the best by this strategy, which is launching at the hub. In fact, AirAsia already been cooperating with this strategy as recently in the year of 2019, before the pandemic, they have launched its newest hub in Thailand and new routes from Kuala Lumpur to Chiang Rai. Furthermore, I think that by AirAsia expanding their market internationally and strengthen it nationally, it can contribute to AirAsia market share and contributes to the high economy of scale, hence directing to a very significant margin to the company. So the AirAsia biggest strength is being the largest budget or the low-cost budget or the low-cost airline budget in the industry, and it continues to lead their way in the industry to strive for the excellence. For your information, recently AirAsia has been awarded as Asia's leading low-cost airline for 8 consecutive years at the World Travel Awards, ahead of its regional competitors such as Malindo, Jetstar Airlines, and other as low-budget airline. Although that pandemic has taken its toll, AirAsia still remains to be awarded as the Asia leading low-cost airline, despite all the challenge that they have run through during this pandemic. So with its biggest strengths, it can actually give a significant effect to the potential strategies of launching the new airline hub locations and remain competitive in the market. Okay, so we move on to the QSPM matrix Malindo Air. So the 3 alternative strategies can be considered from Malindo Air that have been taken from the data from stage 3 is first, laying off employees to reduce costs, which is retrenchments, sell off their asset to raise capital, divestiture, and closure of business, which is the strategy of liquidation. So from the table, we can see the result of 2.24 versus 2.8 and versus 2.14, resulting that Malindo Air can go for selling their assets in order to raise more capital in order to survive in the industry. Furthermore, this strategy, that is divestiture strategy, can only be implemented when the company has already pursued the retrenchment strategy before, which is laying off the companies and other retrenchment strategy, and they still in need of another alternative to stay afloat. So according to the latest news, Malindo Air has conducted a retirement exercise including termination and unpaid leave for over 2,000 employees, that close to 3,000 employees. This shows that Malindo Air has struggled a lot to stay afloat in the industry, especially when the pandemic has taken its toll. Pandemic has really affected the airline industry badly, despite Malindo Air have served the best experience to the customers. In fact, one of the weaknesses of Malindo is having a high staff turnover. So having these weaknesses can actually weaken more their position because actually it can contribute to the loss of productivity and the loss of confidence among stakeholders and the future investor. So therefore, to respond to the weaknesses, the strategy of selling off some of the assets, especially disposing unnecessary asset, could actually financially aid Malindo Air to raise their capital. Okay, so by looking through the table of the threat, it shows that the threat of the new government regulations makes the operation costlier. Also may strongly influence the Malindo Air to respond to the second strategy, that is selling off their asset. Because whenever government impose a new regulation, it actually led to higher productions and the operation cost will be higher, and the cost is what concern Malindo Air the most. So in order to cover all the costs, Malindo Air may sell off the assets to raise capital and to cover all the costs that are needed. To conclude the QSPM metrics, we have analyzed that AirAsia should go for the market development strategy, that is launching new airline hub location, and the location must be strategic. For example, AirAsia can consider to launch in the European countries or even expand their market in the Asia country like Vietnam or other Southeast Asia country, or even strong their position in Japan and Korea. While Malindo should go for divestiture strategy, that is selling off their asset to raise more capital, to raise funds in order to survive, in order to stay afloat in the airline industry. So that's all from me. Thank you.
From what my friend have presented, we can conclude that AirAsia Airline has the best strategy in the airline industry compared to Malindo Airline. In comparison to Malindo Airline, the excellence of the AirAsia company may be attributed to the variety of considerations, such as starting with a precise description of the firm competitive positioning in the airline industry, strategy formula, as well as effective implementation communicated through its mission and vision statement. AirAsia vision statement states that it wants to become Asia's largest low-cost airline, serving the 3 billion person currently underserved by poor connectivity as well as high fare. This statement similarly explains AirAsia competitive positioning, which include the company business level strategy toward becoming a low-cost provider. This strategy developed based on client as well as the strategy aim at strive for valuation beyond profitability, backed up by the service commitment toward billion of low-income stakeholders. As per EFE metric of AirAsia, it is clear that the company has a good management weight with a point 0.11, followed by AirAsia being a biggest budget airline in the industry. Despite the good management at the company, its strategy of low-cost leadership has given the company competitive advantage compared to Malindo Airlines. As per competitive profile metric, AirAsia is always been known as the largest and most successful low-fare airline. AirAsia have been able to significantly reduce operation costs including crew and pilot training, purchasing, maintenance, as well as aircraft utilization by operating a single kind of aircraft, the Airbus A320. Furthermore, because fuel costs account for roughly half of the entire operating expenses, this type of aircraft have allowed AirAsia to use less fuel, resulting in the substantial cost saving. At the same time, what distinguishes AirAsia strategy is the firm ability to successfully negotiate reduced lease rate for airline maintenance contract, as well as airport fees, all of which help them achieve minimal fixed costs. Correspondingly, compared to other airlines such as Malindo Airlines, the expenses of aircraft maintenance contract is significantly lower, giving AirAsia company a competitive advantage in the airline industry. AirAsia is able to achieve ease of cost saving by contracting maintenance, as outsourcing those tasks was more efficient and effective. As per the EFE metric, the growing airline reservation day to day also create a huge amount of threat, as this growing population is depending on the technology force in competitive online ticketing reservation system at AirAsia. Besides, the company has implemented the yield management system that optimize process as well as allocate capacity in order to maximize the revenue at the company. The optimization process is done in different levels, which include route by adjusting the price to different destination and send seats that are available in different price. The yield management system has allowed the AirAsia to lower their revenue via offering high discount mostly during the off-peak period, while raising the cost only during the peak period. Furthermore, AirAsia company has better strategy because of its technological advancement. For instance, AirAsia has incorporated in advanced planning and schedule system as a result of the company current market condition, which include the saturated market with fierce competition from current rivals such as Malindo Airlines. The advanced planning and scheduling system act as the brain of the supply chain, whereby the coordinate operation between customer and supplier. It has aided AirAsia company in streaming its supply chain management by clustering and classify customer order, forecasting future fulfillment requirement, prioritizing order, and checking resource availability. The advanced planning and scheduling system will be able to improve AirAsia process even more, as well as analyze the flying path, which will be crucial in deciding which novel destination AirAsia will function in the year ahead. That's all from us. Thank you and have a very good day.